Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. And shalom to the prophets of the body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households. Now I'm just going to play this little vid here from this Jake's channel. Jake's channel is called Jay Reed. I'm not making no money out of this. All right. This is just emphasize through the scriptures that that people are eating poison, but the animals, are wiser to a certain degree in terms of detecting filth or so-called food that's not even really designed for human consumption. Okay, but humans still eat it. Okay, so-called humans, well, humans still eat it, but the animals are wiser. They're staying away from it. The food in America is way more poisonous compared to the rest of the world. All right. I've also seen videos where even when certain high level people, people that attend these meetings with the so-called elites of this world, the other Edomites, right? When they come to the States, they very rarely stay long enough to even eat the food there. If they do have any kind of food, they usually have it brought in or flown in or from a specific location, which I'm sure there's restaurants and businesses designed to provide real food for the elites. Okay, but the rest of the world, especially in Ground Zero Babylon, everyone's eating printed food or some kind of contaminated so-called food or food that's just not real. I'm not a so-called scientist, so I don't know about the intricate parts, but this shit ain't real. And the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai did say that we'll eat our bread defiled in the land where we'll go, into our captivities, loosely paraphrasing. I'll get that scripture out in a second. I'm just going to play. This is just a little over a minute long, okay? Let's check it out.
Explain to me the weird world we live in with our food and where it comes from. So right here, this has been in Florida. It's my feed station. It's been here for 5 years. Taking a lot of deer off of it, a lot of critters. There's my stand down there. Call that the guard tower. Well, the church brought the fire station a bunch of fruits and vegetables and bread and stuff. And I noticed we had like literally cases of it. Now we're going to throw it away. I put this out 3 days ago. Got my camera right there. 3 days ago. There's tracks all back here. I just filled the corn up again. They came here, whatever. In what world do wild animals not eat grapes and apples?
There is something seriously wrong with the food within America today. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. This right here has posed questions in my eyes. I'm gonna be quite like, it's crazy. This food sat for, he said 3 days, I think, in the video. This food sat for 3 days and it looks like it hasn't even been touched. The animals can sense it. They can sense if there's something within pesticides that are on this fruit. And that's what we are putting inside of our bodies. But so many Americans are, they're becoming aware of this and they're waking up because, this is just bad. I'm going to be quite honest. But y'all let me know what y'all think about.
I mean, if you look at the food as well, it doesn't even contaminate. All right. I'm in my late 40s. I remember as a child in the 80s when we used to have like your sugar bowls or your sugar containers or whatever. People use them to put in the tea. I remember sometimes during the summer when you get ants coming in, right? Sometimes they would be inside the sugar bowl. Sometimes they'd be around, on the sugary items, And now, if you put sugar in front of an ant or ants, just test it out yourself. They're not going to even go near it. All right? There was like an animal, I believe it was a dog or a cat, in the alley behind my home. It looked hungry, and I thought I'll put some food out for it, which I did. And, and that animal didn't eat it. It looked at it, sniffed it for a bit, and didn't eat it. And even if you put out bread or whatever, which you shouldn't really do for pigeons and things like that, But sometimes if you got, bread that's slightly stale, you put it out, or you put out fresh bread, even you can test out both. Sometimes the birds don't even eat it. And that's in the UK. And I know America is definitely worse. We've got poison in the food here in the UK too. But, the same shit like this, the chicken with the meat glue here in the UK, in all the major supermarkets, but it's mainly done in your so-called, your industrial type areas where Jake is living. All right. In the Edomite areas, you won't really see these kind of stores. You won't see those takeaway type stores. You'll see more gourmet, more cafeteria type, cafeteria type places, more organic, so called, right? And it's all done by design. Okay. Ultimately, to depopulate the earth, because Esau, Edom, what do they want to do according to the Georgia Guidestones? All right, we've got about 9 billion people on the planet. They want to get rid of 8.5 billion through wars, through famine, through the 1-9, now through the Hanta, which I believe Elder Malcolm have brought out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Elder Malcolm of GMS Chicago. Hanta means scam. So scam virus. You can also say Hanta for hunter as well. It alludes to hunter because they're trying to hunt you Israelites down. Okay, ultimately trying to get the elect, but the elect are sealed from the foundations of the earth. Okay, so they're trying to depopulate the earth in various forms. And a major form, obviously, we need as so-called as human beings, right, is your nourishment, your food, your water, your bread, your fruits, your meats, all lawful, of course, right? Your milk to survive, to nourish the body. You got babies eating. You got Israelite babies eating these grapes and shit, man. Look at that. It still looks all red and shiny. It doesn't. 3 days, no dents. No one's munched on it. Not even a half-eaten apple. Not even a quarter-eaten apple. They're all just sitting there like it's a bowl of wax fruit. You can pick that shit up and put it into a bowl, right, and take a picture of it. It looks like some kind of you could put I bet you could pour that fruit. You could pour that fruit in a bowl and just put it on the table. Like wax fruit, just for decoration, and the shit won't deteriorate. It's like McDonald's foods. Those fries. I believe somebody did an experiment for about a year. They kept the fries under a microscope, and the shit did not go blue or green or get any fur. Right? And this is what people are eating. And then you go to the stores, right? Because people can't take a number 2, can't defecate, because what they're putting inside themselves is not even food. So everything is seized up within their internals. You go check out the pharmacies yourself. Go to the laxative section. Whatever you need, whether it's what do you call it, psyllium husk, right? Or I think psyllium husk is more of the better version of taking. It adds roughage to your food, so you can, go to the bathroom, right? But you got to drink a whole bunch of water and try and eat, in a spaced out manner where your food can digest when you do have some kind of so-called real food. And you've got to be really, really meticulous in your diet, man. Our elders and apostles are an example. They're all getting in shape. They're losing weight. They're getting into shape. Elder Apostle Tar said that, he's at his high school weight. And that's amazing. If you look at the elder, he looks lean. He's in shape. He was never fat anyway, but he was like more husky, he looked like a old school bodybuilder type. When if you look some of the videos 10 years ago, when he's wearing his jacket, he looks husky, like he looks strong. He don't look tubby at all. But he's very lean now. All the elders are leaning out. Because they're being careful with their bread and meat. And this is the piece of shit that we're dealing with, man. Okay, Esau, Edom, trying to think that they're going to get rulership back on. They're going to extend their rulership. Look what you've done to the earth. Look what you've done to the animals. Look what you've done to the food. Look what you've done to the environment. First and foremost, look what you've done to the people of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai. Okay? All right? So, we're not even eating real food. And the fact that the elect, whoever they are across the 4 corners of the earth, are still surviving is divine protection from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai, man. Straight up. Okay? You're surviving. And that's why prayer is important. You know? You pray over the food. Yahweh Hashem Yashai can take the toxins out of the food. However the Lord will do it. The Lord will do it. Or the Lord will just, you might eat food that you assume is food. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai will still sustain you. Okay, so we, the hopeful elect, right, have got that force field of protection around him. All right? Let's go to some scriptures, man. I mean, animals are, very spiritual in their senses. They can, detect bullshit straight away. That's why animals even sometimes can suss out the fact that their owner has cancer before the owner of the dog gets diagnosed through a so-called doctor or a physician. So animals, for some people, are like good friends. They're a helping hand, so to speak. Animals can see things that we cannot see. They can see angels, demons. That's why dogs always sort of like their ears prick up. You might feel a wind on your back of your neck, your ears. Your hairs on your neck might, the hairs on your arms might stand up. Okay, that's a spirit passing you, right? And you can tell through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai whether it's good or bad, and the dog will get alerted. Okay? Now, same way these dogs and these animals can tell that whether food is real or not. Okay? Ezekiel 4:13, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Okay? The so-called white man, okay, the heathen nations are eating defiled bread. But for a fact, in the Israelite neighborhoods where there's a strong domination of Israelites. I mean, can you imagine Miami, Florida, and all that, where all the 12 tribes are pretty much situated? The amount of filth that's in the foods there. New York, Los Angeles, all the Jake-dominated areas, And the fact that even 2/3 Jakes, that are athletes and sportsmen, eat this kind of food and still survive. Okay, they might get a little better grade of food here and there, but for the most part, they eat and drink pretty much the same thing as regular Jake. Okay? And Jake still, athletic-wise and spirit-wise, is better than the heathen nations, even though Jake is eating defiled bread. That's the mercy of the Lord, man. But the elect are protected, okay? The elect are protected. Just bear with me. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay? All you can hear is mournings of the people. You got the so-called, you got the Edomite nations, the so-called white man. They're pissed off in their own world. This is their realm. This is their world where everything's supposed to be perfect. But because their kingdom is dwindling, we are at the door of Yahushai's return, right? The birth pains are there of this kingdom, of the Lord's return. The Lord's returning. Okay? Their whole system is falling apart. Okay? They're bitching and moaning. They're fed up. They put all their eggs in one basket. They put in the eggs of Trump. Right? Their own kind. Their own kith and kin. But their own kith and kin is letting them down. Esau, the elites don't give a shit about so-called white man. They don't care. They do not care. They don't care about their own. They just care about their own so-called elites. There, you know, there's 12, 13 families or whatever, right? Because in a world, you know, when Yahweh Hashem Yahshua's kingdom is on this planet Earth and beyond, okay, the elect under the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai first and foremost, right? The elect are going to be ruling under the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Okay, Yahweh Shai first and foremost. He gets his glory first because he redeemed the elect. Okay, he's our king, right? We're going to be in a righteous world where even the heathen, after 1,000 years slavery, of course, they're going to be in a happier state than they are now. But they're going to be underneath our feet. But the so-called white man, they got nothing but unhappiness coming all their way. From this side, all the way into the kingdom for 1,000 years. Then after 1,000 years, Obadiah 118. They're going to be deleted, burnt up. Okay? And you can see them bitching and moaning. All right? We see video after video. We see collages, you know, a bunch of videos put together by our prophet, elders and prophets. We can see Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay? The people are mourning. The people are fed up. Okay? This is the reason why, you know, a lot of people don't have the energy. They say they drink water, but they're still thirsty. They're still dehydrated because you don't even know we probably don't even know what real water tastes like. We have an indication. We're going to have real water in the kingdom. Can you imagine what that's going to taste like? Real water? How you're going to feel? The energy you're going to feel through drinking real water in the kingdom of heaven? You know? You can drink a couple of liters of water a day. You're still going to feel dehydrated. You know, you're still going to piss out bright yellow piss. You know? Because you just don't know what the hell we're drinking. You know? This is hell. Okay? This is literally hell. And Brakti Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakodash. We are at the end of this kingdom, man. All right? I'm going to leave it there now. And I think, Lord willing, I've made the point. Okay? And this is how you should be thankful to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, you hopeful elect out there, man. The Lord is sustaining us, guiding our steps. Proverbs 20:24, man's goings are of the Lord. Even when we eat and drink, the Lord is saying, eat this, but not this. You know? And we're surviving. The Lord's giving you a way to sustain yourselves in this hell up until we get up out of here. Okay? Psalms 91 verse 4. Yahweh Hashem Yahshai covers you, man, with his wings. Psalms 37 verse 4. The Lord delivers you, keeps you covered. Okay? Right? So like it's Psalms 34 verse 7. Is it Psalms? No, it's not. It's Psalms 34. Let me just actually Google it. Let me get it. Psalms 34 verse 7. It's Psalms 34 verse 7. The angel of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Okay? This is a form of deliverance also. The fact that you survive eating the food you do, that's a form of deliverance. Okay? So Tawari Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, for his tender mercies, man. Alright? But anyway, this hell's not going to go on for too much longer, man. Okay? Our king is coming, couple more prophecies to go, and we're going home soon, man. As Elder Apostle Tahar would say in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, you know, we could be in the kingdom next year. You never know. You know? All the spiritual boxes are being ticked in terms of prophecy, so you never know. But it's definitely soon. As Benjamin would say, the Lord soon come. You know? But anyway, all praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.